Hey y'all, hey. So an idea for a reading came to me, and it's going to be about what your head is saying, what your heart is saying, and what spirit wants you to see. So I'm going to do 3 groups and we're going to go through 3 sets. So pick whatever deck you feel called to, and then we'll go from there. Start with group 1. So I'm gonna use 3 decks because I want the energy to be clear in case there's something that needs to be said. So this first deck will be, actually I'm hearing heart for this one. This will be head, and this will be for what spirit wants you to know. Before I pull into these, we're gonna pull some oracles, see what the surrounding energy is. I don't know what any of these topics are gonna be, but whatever's relevant for whatever group collectives. Spirit will let us know. Okay. Observe, perceive, scrutinize. So this is the surrounding energy. Okay, let's take a look at what we have here. So there's a sense, oh, sorry, baby. My dog was under my feet. I'm sorry. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. This is the surrounding energy. We're gonna get into the head, the heart, and what spirit wants from you. But it looks like this is energy of a person who has a harder time with feeling safe and trusting what is what you're seeing, is it true, maybe overthinking in some ways, not wanting to think things can be magic, but then understanding that things work out in a way that's almost too specific for it not to be something more than what you think it is. There's some past karmic wounds here. It could be from this life, could be from a past life, but that creates some sense of hesitation in terms of like what you want. Like base chakra is like safety and root, but then this is giving me solar plexus, this golden energy, where it's like what you want and trusting it almost, especially here with risk and purpose and teacher. There's more than one card that's like you're being led in a direction by spirit, and spirit's trying to get you to have hope or not give up or not sort of like waver in your belief that things can work out for you, that life can look the way you want it to. But it does require you to listen to the input that they're sending you. And there's something here from the past that needs to be healed, that it's almost like a contract that hasn't been fulfilled yet. There's also a contract for, so cosmic egg, it's like a spiritual awakening. Someone might be a bit resistant to that or misaligned with the goal or vow or promise or life plan that you made before you came. But let's get into your mindset and what may be pushing you in the direction of misalignment. There's also a sense here too of like not being able to embody and exist in like softness or safety or feel at ease because of these memories, or because of whatever happened that you need to heal, that creates this pattern where you almost don't want to believe in something because you're afraid you're going to be let down. That has to be looked at. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so for some of you, this is like carryover from a past life where you didn't get to fulfill certain things that you had hoped for or wanted to, or there's some sense, okay, they're showing me it's like someone leaving before the group or before they're ready, or being afraid to leave the group and then getting left behind. So there's some sort of like, it may be like abandonment of some sort, or energy of something not being resolved. And again, it's like this play out of energy of not connecting your will with that action is like a repeat from that past life that has to sort of be played out. Heal came in the upright though, so it's like it's very accessible to you, and purpose is in the upright, but it is going to require you to take risks and challenge the part of you that is like not willing to do it if it's not a sure thing, if that makes sense. All right, so what can I get for their mind space around whatever you want to? Okay, love. Okay. Okay, so going back to this past, so like innocence, love, past, right? It must have been a romantic partner that got left behind, or someone might have unfortunately died before the other person, or whatever the situation was. I'm getting some sense of separation where something didn't get to have its full fruition. So it's almost like it's not just like a soul contract, but almost like a wish, right? Like it's like a wish that didn't get fulfilled, that can be fulfilled in this life. But there is some healing that needs to be done. And it's an odd thing because not everyone gets to be aware of what their past life karma is, or the influence of their past life. Like there's some things that I directly know, right, for my life that, okay, I know this stems from this because as a child I used to have these recurring dreams of past lives. So I was able to like build my own threads and understanding, right? But not everyone can, and take this with a grain of salt. If this doesn't feel like it resonates for you, you don't have to accept it, but that's just what I'm being shown, what's being shown to me. So there's something, okay, so there's something from that past life that is sort of rooted in your now that creates this sense of lack of safety where you're double, triple questioning because of that wound. And again, when it's not from this life, even though the pain of those wounds karmically will be reflected like mirrors, murmurs in this life, like ripples, right? Like ripples on a pond, right? It's like you'll see them, but you may not always know and understand them. So then sometimes the response you may have to certain situations may almost seem like it doesn't match proportionately to whatever's happening, and that's often because there's some like karmic tie. One way to check for that too, if you're curious, is to look into your if you look into your it's either your life path, I think it's your life path number, or it's human design, one of the other. So there's certain karmic numbers, but I think it's in numerology, in your numerology, where I think it's like 13s. There's certain numbers that are, if they're present in your chart, it represents some like karmic holdover from a previous life that still has to be worked out or resolved. So some people are born into this life with, well, most people are born into life with some sort of karmic debt. Okay, so in sense of, in the scope of what we're talking about, and in this being the mind, it's almost like you have this opportunity to have this healthy connection or healthy relationship or this love that you didn't get to have in another life, but it does require some healing and reconsidering or letting go of certain things, so again, those patterns that like are totally like understandable, but they could hold you back. And it's fine if you don't want to challenge that in this lifetime. The energy will always be there lifetime after lifetime for you to solve. But if you're open to having what you want in this life, then, and overcoming these burdens, then it's available to you. But it does require you to listen to spirit and have more hope. Can you show me a little bit more about the mind that you want to address with them? Literally, King of Swords. King of Swords is the mind card, right? It's the overthinker, Mr. Grumpy, always looking to see if things are right or not right. This very much falls in this energy. It's almost like you're afraid of being duped, but that fear is like holding you back in some way where you're not able to experience the full like dynamic potential that is available to you. Like, because you're always questioning or holding yourself back. And questioning is not a problem, but you have to look at if the questioning is an unhealthy pattern or not. Like, is the way in which you're questioning healthy or unhealthy? So let's see what else. Okay, and then you may guard yourself a little bit too much, right? Because it's all coming from this root chakra being out of balance, like that not feeling safe. So you may always do things that protect you, but it's like in your mind, it's totally justifiable, but it's like you're living, it's disconnected from the body, it's disconnected from the purpose, and it's disconnected from what you actually want, right? Because the mind, the ego wants to protect you, and there's nothing wrong with the ego. It helps us have an identity, it helps us be present in our bodies, but it can be out of balance and it can become a detriment. So in that term, they told me to pull one more. The mind for you can be that. But again, so there's this reading is heavily laid with hope, where you have the chance to overcome that. You have the chance to step out of that. Okay. So that's what your mind's viewing your current situation or whatever's most prevalent for you to deal with right now. Let's see where your heart's at. Can you show me their heart? You're so hard on yourself. It's like that judgment is making your heart like small, not smaller, but it's almost like putting a cage around your heart, and then your cage is like a bird that can't fly or can't sing because you're so worried about being safe that you're not actually enjoying yourself. Your heart wants you to have a better time. Your heart wants you to let go of this need to always protect yourself first, but in the way of, it's almost like you cut it off before you have a chance to enjoy anything or see what the potential is, because you're worried about the burden, because you're worried about your safety. Ooh, slippery one. Okay. It's almost like you expect things to not go in your favor, for you not to be happy in the long term. But why, if you have the ability to direct your mind in any way in this world, why choose to direct it in a way that you don't think that you're going to be successful? That's something to look at a little bit deeper, because if you're not here to fulfill yourself or live a full happy life, then what is it that you are here for? And if there's a different reason and you don't choose to prioritize this, that's absolutely your right. But I think a little more introspection in that area could serve you, because your heart is asking you to think about what, I mean, these are cups, you know, to think about what makes you feel fulfilled, emotionally happy. And also the sense of adventure, right? Like being able to be courageous enough to be, it's like listening to your inner child. Like your inner child like wants to be happy. Your heart wants to be happy. And instead of being so afraid of feeling anything or your heart being hurt or tender, and then not experiencing the range of joy that you could see it as an adventure, where if you're learning to ride a bike and you fall and scrape your knee, it's fine, because it's part of the process, right? You're able to get back up and you're still going to learn how to ride the bike. But for some reason with our emotions, sometimes we don't have that sort of reckless abandonment the way we do when it's like our physical body, for example. Well, some people are very safe. Some people are more, you know, some people are more of risk takers, but your heart's asking you to take a risk. Anything else from the heart space? Okay. So I heard, how can I grow if I can't feel? How can I grow if I can't be allowed to feel? There's, again, it's the thing that is crossing is always the mental energy, right? It's almost like you create more pain for yourself by trying to mitigate potential pain. But if you're gonna be knotted up anyway, why not allow that to be in service of living your best life, or having the fulfillment that you deserve? Anything else from the heart? Looks like no. Okay, now we're gonna see. It's actually not maybe as long as I thought it was gonna be. We're gonna see what Spirit wants you to hear and what Spirit is guiding you toward, right? Because sometimes we get lost in our head and our heart space, and we can't have a higher perspective. So, Spirit guide, ancestors, loved ones, the universe itself. What is the advice and guidance? Ugh. This is so wonderful. Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. They want you to step into the new, like you're going to be caught. It's going to be stable. The Pentacle is the most tangible, most stable of the aces. It's like you can, it's like, you know, you can bite a coin. It's like you can, like the ground will be there under your feet. You can pursue it. It'll be there under your feet. And the Queen of Wands is very much about knowing your worth, knowing you're strong enough. The Queen of Wands is powerful, not to be trifled with, right? Very well liked, very able to maneuver and make things go their way. They're magnetic people. You have that potential, that access, that ability to step into that energy. Those are two really strong start off cards. But it is going to require you to let go of this mindset where you're willing to tell yourself a story that will end poorly more than you're willing to tell yourself a story that will end well. And even if something doesn't end in the most perfect of senses, you'll learn something about yourself, you'll have experiences, and you'll know more of what you want. So it's like a refinement where, because of this experience, now I understand myself better, I know myself better, I understand my heart better, my mind better, I see how I react to things, I see who I am. It's like you're becoming intimate and known to yourself through the experience. They told me to split and flip, so okay. But you're holding yourself back from that experience. It's like a dam, right? But it's a dam that doesn't need to be there. Like, you're allowed to let it flow. Can you address this more? Again, Four of Cups in reverse. So, okay, there may need to be some reframework around what healing means, or how you view it, or what you think about it, or what you're willing to do. Okay, so it's giving that you're not willing to take the risk to see what something could be. You're more willing to accept a less version of something because it makes you feel like then you have options. But it's like this mindset that you're making this prison that you've made seem cozy. But you could be cozy in a bigger space as well. And you could be more fulfilled. It's like you're denying yourself so that you could have lesser comforts. It's like, okay, so they just showed me, I don't know, it's maybe Scottish, something has to do with someone. I don't know why it's specifically Scottish though, but it was like, they showed me a cabin and it's like little and dank and dark and wet. And there's no fireplace, but it's like, well, I know what's here. I know where the leaks are. I know, you know, which holes I need to plug when it rains. But it's like, if you would venture out, there's another cabin and they're showing me it's like bigger, the wood logs are in better shape, it has a fireplace, it's warm, it's cozy. And now they're showing me like a, what do they call it, a hearth, where it's like the pot and it's boiling in the fireplace, where it's like something warm that fills you, right? That feeling of being full instead of being cold and uncomfortable, but in a known space. You won't know what the more could look like if you're not willing to venture forward to experience it. Okay. Why Scotland? They told me it's a specific reference for somebody. Okay, so the misalignment, they want to move on to the love aspect. Oh, King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. You have so much love to give. You have so much love to give, but you... Oh, I see. So could have to do with that wound, could have to do mainly with that self-protection. But you almost, well, we've talked about this. It's like you betray yourself before it happens. And like, look at this card specifically, right? It's like a throne of knives. Not all the decks represent it this way. It's like, well, you have your anxiety and your frustration to sit back on. That'll always be there for you, kind of thing. When it goes back to that cabin thing, it's almost like being a little bit inflexible, a little bit stuck in your ways in some ways. Maybe you're a fixed sign, maybe not, but it is giving that like fixed energy, like it's like you're stabbing yourself, but you're like, well, this is a known thing, and you know how to navigate this same pain or this same loneliness or the same grief or whatever it is. But again, it's like complacency. It's like you're stuck in that complacency. Okay, so they're drawing me to the red string in this card, and then there is fate here, right? With risk, purpose, vows. So there is more earmarked for you, but it does require you to stop being, or I could say you're very committed to what you are, what you know, and what you are habitually engaged with. So they may want you to be less that and more committed to the potential, to possibility, because there are things that are waiting for you that they're trying to get you toward. Can you give me more on this? You're not supposed to be doing this alone. You're not supposed to be on your own. It's not supposed to be cold and lonely. They just showed me the cabin again, but they're showing me like a blanket on the cabin, and I'm not going to elaborate too much more, but people together in the cabin under a warm blanket under the fire, right? That sort of energy, like having someone to weather the storm with. But you have to be willing to receive that, and you can't receive it if you're not willing to be open. Look at this. Bottom of the deck, 10 of Cups. You're not willing to be open to that, then it can't make its way to you. Oh. And 6 of Cups is a soulmate. So again, there is an element of fate. There is an element of something that was set by you, by your higher self, by your soul, by the universe. If you don't believe in that God, whoever you believe in, you set something aside for yourself, but you're not letting yourself have it. It's like you're stuck because you got down here, and then, you know, the veil of forgetting, you forget. And then they're like, hey, listen, hey, don't be stuck here. Don't get stuck in this sand pit. We have more for you. It's waiting for you. 10 of Cups. Like, it is absolutely possible for you. I mean, you can see the card, so you can very well see I'm not lying to you, right? I'm not one of those readers anyway, but it's it's like they just want you to hear them. They just want to get you there. So what other advice do you have for them in those terms? I see. So there's also, there's a little bit of self-deception here where it's like, you don't want to necessarily admit what you are committed to or what you may think you're not committed to anything, but your desire to be not committed to anything is like a commitment. Like I said earlier about, it's like, oh, I want to stay in my comfort zone and be a little grumpy or grumbly, right? And no judgment, I'm not judging you. But it's like, you need to be honest with yourself. Like, you're like, you're more committed to that than you want to admit. So it's like an illusion because you're like, I'm not tethered to this, or that's not for me. This is not that way, but it's like it's okay. I see. This is like stubbornness, but it's also like, conforming to non-conformity, but for the sake of it, not because it's like, oh, I've looked at the lay of the land. I've experienced all these things, and this is the conclusion that I've come to in my experience and what I want. It's not that. Okay. It's a little bit rough, Spirit. Okay. So again, it's that like commitment to being disappointed. But you have this window for change. You have this window for change that is available. And I really feel a sense of like, not urgency, but like pleading from your guides where it's like, please, please hear us. They want you to overcome that interior space. But first you have to be more aware of it before you can overcome it. Because it's like you might have these like peak moments where you could shift, and then it's like you roll back into that space, and they want you to come out of that. Can you clarify here for me? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so it's like you got to look at your internal monologue, because there is a commitment to certain ways of seeing, thinking, storylines. Yeah. There's the way you think as well. They want you to look at the way you're justifying your feelings, where you might think you're like, no, I know how I feel, I know what I want, but it's kind of like, you know, the stories that you're telling, the narratives that you're creating, and then you're sort of being married to those narratives. But again, it's like that, oh no, I'm not committed to these narratives, but you actually are. So they want you to really examine your mindset, examine how you feel, and question yourself, like hold yourself more accountable, I suppose. Again, this is all advice. You don't have to take it, but this is what they want you to look at. Because this commitment, it's this commitment to being like, things don't work out for me, I don't get what I want, I'm left again, or it didn't work out again. It's like this narrative that you're committed to. Take the top one too. Okay, so that like mindset like stifles. It's like when you could receive from the universe this inspiration, that mindset stifles, and it's like you can't get out of it. You can't move out of it, and they want you to move out of it, but it's like you get trapped in a web of your own creation, and it's because your pattern at repeating these narratives or stories, and that's like when we got back, right, that healing work, and then them wanting you to listen, because they want to help you. They want to help you navigate this and overcome this, but it requires a lot of courage from you and stepping out of that groove, right? Instead of walking on the paved path, choose to walk on the grass, right? You've got to break the cycle somewhere, but it's got to start with you. They can't from the heavens reach down and do it for you. They can nudge you, they can send you signs, they can send you people, they can send you scenarios that trigger these things that you're not seeing. But whether or not you choose to act on them is always down to you. And then, you know, when you get back to that side, they'll be like, man, we sent you the cheat codes, but you didn't listen. But if you want to still have what you want, or to be happy in this lifetime, the support is right there. You just have to reach up for it and lay the groundwork for them. So they're saying to me, like, we know that taking this leap, this risk, is a challenge for you, but they're asking you to do it even if you don't feel ready. Like, they're saying the ground is below you, right? With that Ace of Pentacles we got. They're like, the ground is there, we're there. But it's like, you don't trust or believe that it's there. And so you don't want to jump until you know for sure that it's there. But you'll never get there if you don't jump. So they kind of like need you to start jumping before you're ready, to challenge that. To challenge that resolve in yourself, to be willing to try, even if you don't know the outcome, because you'll never have anything new if you continuously repeat the same thing, the same lesson. Okay, so we are going to pull the advice cards, which I actually forgot to set aside. So let me move some things really quickly. Let's see what your advice is. Wrapping advice, closing advice. Oh, shake up the system. Be a way shower. Break the mold. You can do it. Like, these cards are not like... It's possible for you. Like, I don't know if you think it's a pipe dream, but it's definitely not. I want you to know that. But again, how you feel about something and how it is are different. And I get that mitigating that difference is a skill. And it's one we learn through by making mistakes and failing and trying again. And then eventually we learn to become resilient. Raising your vibration. So it's also, this is Ace of Wands, right? Like taking that risk, taking that chance to experience more. They're saying some weird, like, be ye not afraid. I don't know what this is from, and I don't want to say the rest because I don't know what it is. But it's like some old-timey passage. Be ye not afraid, something who enters here or something. Y'all are gonna have to help me with that because that might be for one of you guys and I don't know what that means or where it's from. Okay, sorry. Oh, warmth. They want you to not be alone. They want you to not feel so like sad and somber and lonely, to let someone come in and support you and let the universe prop you up. Luck and fortune is on your side. The wheel of fortune is here. You just have to decide that you're gonna line up with it. But it is gonna require you to step into a level of self-love and self-acceptance. And self-love is not just like taking bubble baths and going to sound baths. It's also being hard on yourself when you may be taking the easy way out. It's challenging yourself to be better, to do better, to see yourself, to see better for yourself. But by doing that, it's like, I'm not a farmer, but you know, it's like tilling the soil, like aerating it. And then that process has the potential to create more growth in the future because you turned the dirt up. So I wish you the best. I know overcoming ourselves is sometimes a harder thing than overcoming external factors, because with external factors, it feels more pressing. And so we have this thing to focus on, to fight against, to push against. But the internal self is much harder because it's much more nuanced, and it requires so much more strength and consistency and commitment from ourselves to ourselves. And no one can see that, but or I mean, people can see it in the effects or the reality of your life, but no one knows when you are or are not pushing yourself or being kind to yourself or being hard on yourself or deluding yourself. You're the only one who knows that, well, in spirit. So I get that it is challenging, but again, if having a better life is something that you want, then it is available to you, and you can reach up and ask for support energetically. Spirit is waiting to help you. All right, I'm gonna move on to group 2 now. Hello, group 2. Let's see what is going on in your head, heart, and what spirit wants you to know. Okay. I'm being shown green, and I just heard evergreen. I don't know what that has to do. I guess we'll see if it makes sense later. Moving forward, the first step is taken with our stillness. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm going to grab the oracles first. I'm going to fast forward. I'll be back. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So the energy of group 2, this part I got stuck on because the energy is very clear and powerful. It's like you are a person who is like, you get shit done for one, It's like you see a path, you have the discipline, you're collaborative, you work well, you're communicative, but there's a hang up. And I was trying to figure out exactly what the hang up is, because this energy is strong and clear, and if I wasn't more curious, I'd be like, oh, there's nothing wrong, right? Or not that there's something wrong, but there's just something sticky that I couldn't get over. And so you are someone who is powerful, collaborative, you are willing to, and it's not just that you'll make something work, you'll make it good for both people. You're not just in it for yourself. You actually are in it for like, we can do this. But there is a small piece here where you may be not fully honest with yourself or abandoning yourself in terms of what works best for you, because it's almost like you're so logical. You're such a good team player. You're such a good, like, I would say business person, honestly, based on the energy I'm feeling, but or like whatever it is, like boss, like whatever it is that you're tasked with, it's like you get stuff done and you get it done in a way that is, again, that works for everybody, that makes sense. It's on time. You're transparent. But a lot of times, I'm having fruit flies. Look at this. A lot of times, that fruit fly fell on this card too. Peace, home, she of the woods. It's like, you might almost be too efficient to the point where you've become so good at being efficient that it's not always clear whether or not your heart is aligned with what makes sense. Like, it makes sense. You're like, yeah, we'll do it because it makes sense. But I don't want to say self-betrayal exactly, because it's almost like you're still like receiving things, but it's almost like things could be better for you, or like things could have you centered in them a little bit more. Because there is a fairness, but it's like you'll sort of like take it on the chin, or you'll be the one to like eat a little bit of the, like, I was gonna say cost, but again, not, it's like you're willing to sort of take it on, but then that like heart energy, it's like not peeking through enough. It's like, even in these cards, right, like 3 of them are green, but it's like I'm being so pulled into the green, but there's not a lot of it. And that is like not fostered enough on you, because you're so good at being good and finding a solution, making it work for everyone, that it's like you're almost too good at it, to the point where sometimes I don't think you stop down to go, wait, is this what I really want? This deal makes sense, it's logical, but is it what I want? This relationship makes sense, but is it what I want, right? Like, you're a master compromiser. But in some cases, I feel like you shouldn't be the one compromising. Yeah, because other people, it's like other people, you'll take the buckle before other people will even think about buckling, which is interesting. There's a little bit of puppet master here, right? Where it's like, part of that is you're good at it because it's a skill, but part of it is like, you know, it'll go your way because it's almost like you tweak each dial. Again, just so logical, clear, powerful. Your energy is powerful. And the funny thing is, like, be open to new ideas and seek an outside perspective, but I feel like you're not even bad at that. I feel like if anything, it's like, you're so willing to take everything and lay it out and logically apply it, where it's like, it almost becomes too impersonal, where your input or desire or what's best just for you or what feels right or best to you is sometimes overlooked. Okay, I feel like I've harped on that a bit. Sorry, it just felt so... Okay, so what is going on in the head of this person? There's more here, but I'll pull into that later. Same cards again, right? It's like you don't want, so part of it too might be like you don't want to spend your time dealing with sticky things. You're like, this isn't worth it. But sometimes is it not worth it because you're prioritizing time, or is it not worth it because you're like, this doesn't matter to me? Can I get more of the headspace? Thank you. Yeah, see, there's some sense of like you're not being fully fulfilled, even though you are just like great at everything that you do. Yeah, Nine of Cups reverse. It's like you were you were, okay. It's also giving a bit of like, you're so good at this, but it's like, the irony is like, it's like only a fraction of your potential. Like, there's more in you, but you're so good at what you're good at. You're not like being challenged in a way as well. Yeah, see, a lot of this is about not, like, again, that like little bit it's like you deprioritize yourself just a little bit too much, like, and it's in a way where I don't feel like you have a lot of conflict about it, but it's like natural to you, but it puts you on the end of like you get the delayed output. But this is the mind space as well, so it's almost like, again, you're always focused on long-term success, what works, what's best, but what about you? You're being a great person for everyone else. You're being egalitarian and fair for everyone else. But like sometimes it's appropriate for you to be weighted differently because you deserve this, or like you've put in a lot of effort. Like it should look easy for you sometimes as well. Okay. One more for the mind space, please. Again though, right? Like it's like you're just so in line, you're just so on time, you just take one step to the next step to the next step, but it's like everything is so contained and orderly. I'm just worried about your emotions being prioritized. Okay, let's look at the heart. There's still something more in this Four of Pentacles. Okay, so it's like, again, that pillar of strength. You are this like lynch point, this, and it's not just like in your family. It's like your family, your job, whatever space you're in, you become this nexus point. You like direct things, you're in charge of things, people come to you. It's like, you're like in the background, you're giving them advice. It's like you're very involved with everybody. It's like you're a pillar of strength. And again, you're so good at it, you make it look easy. And it's not even your full potential. But it looks like you're very like realistic and grounded and tangible. And it's like you look at things like that's a nice thought, but what's the actuality? Like the actuals. But you may be a little too prioritized in that way, which it's good to be considerate of other people again. But okay, let's look at your heart space. Sorry. What about the heart space? Interesting. So it's like, again, you have the ability to tap into all that is, source, the universe, but it's almost like you keep yourself slightly out of alignment with that. Your heart wants you to be more aligned with that. There's a little bit too, like your heart wants more variety from you because you're so structured and you're so on top of it and you're the one who makes sure everything's done. It's like you're almost always the planner. You're the one who pushes things forward. You take things to the next step. You're the one orchestrating it, where it's like you don't get to sort of experience that like spontaneity, or where someone's surprising to you, giving to you, showing up and providing the structure for you. You're so busy providing the structure that like it's almost like your needs go unnoticed, unmet. Your emotional needs, because on the outside you like a well-oiled machine. It's like you're successful, you're great, people, oh, look at this, people can rely on you, but your heart wants more for you, more passion as well. I just heard that TikTok's like more passion, more energy, more energy. It's almost like, where's the fun and excitement, the like variance from the like well-oiled ship? Where is that part? Okay. Yeah, what else could be out there for you? What have you not experienced yet? What does your fulfillment look like? What does this wish fulfillment look like for you? And having the space to daydream about what your needs being met would look like. Can you clarify for me? There's a little bit of you being out of touch with these emotions, and maybe you don't want to tap into them because it would hurt your feelings to think about how you're always the structure and who's the support for you and when do you get to break down and have a break. But it's almost like you're disconnected from your heart in that way, where it's like you're doing so well even at managing and maintaining yourself that you may not be fully aware of like what's in there waiting. Any more? Okay. Yeah, because you're efficient, you're fast, you just like, I don't know, it's almost like you're afraid to be not good at things too. You're so good at being good at things that you strive to be good at them. It's like, that's the challenge for you, is like, how much better can I be good at this? But you're doing it so well that it doesn't look like that from the outside, but also, sorry, hold on. Okay, I see it, like a dance floor. I see. It's almost like you've like, you know, the way an athlete has like muscle memory. It's almost like you've gotten so good at this muscle memory that, like, again, even your 50% is like someone's 100%. And you always have ideas too. You always have like, that's the funniest part too, because you're so tangible, but you actually are pretty tapped in. Like you pull down ideas that can be, and you have the skills to make them real. Sorry, we're talking about the heart space though. You're an interesting person. You're complex and interesting, very grounded. I would say, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you have a lot of earth in your chart. Not for everybody, but you think about the future. You're always like weighting your decisions against, like, you play scenarios out. But it's like, this is more mind space. See, even when I'm talking about the heart, it's still so organized and mind oriented. It's like, I could imagine that you, even though you come off as warm and patient with other people, which speaks to this emotional intelligence, you don't really offer that to yourself. Because even the heart space is like being the boss, but it's like in your heart, you're like, people may not know that you don't feel like you have it all together, but it's like you do what you need to do to have it together. I would really love to see more cups in your heart space, but it's very much action, organization, work, long term. Like again, is even tangible. It's like you might even make sound emotional decisions, like deciding, like, okay, here's like an example, but it doesn't apply to everyone. It's like, oh, well, I'm angry, but there's nothing to be angry about, so I'm just not going to feel the anger. It's like that kind of like it's like super logic. Again, that more passion, like, sometimes you need to like have a fit or feel a feeling or let it run its course, but it's almost like you might not have time. It might also be that you don't have time because you're so busy, or because so many people rely on you, because you have so many responsibilities that you don't like prioritize those emotions. But it's like those things need to come out because it will come out eventually in some way. Anything else in this heart space? Yeah, see, again, Ace of Cups in reverse. It's like you delay your emotions. It's almost like you're like, I'll process that later. I'll deal with that later. I'm hearing some water. For some of you, it's water. Some of you could be Aquarius as well. But it's like you have to run this ship. So you're like, I'll feel it later. I'll feel it later or something. Yeah. And it's not like you're performing. It's like you're just doing what you have to do. And it's like when you have a minute to set yourself down, it's like you're... My dog, sorry. It's like you're like you're just resting, which is funny because you're a very active, busy person. But yeah, I would say you need to bring more motion into your heart space, because even your heart space is like optimized in some way, or not even optimized in like, I've decided that this is what is optimal for me to perform as. It's like you're waiting logic to say, okay, well, this emotion will not be constructive for me right now, so I have to deprioritize it. That's it. It's like very like that, logic based. All right, let's see what Spirit wants to talk to you about. Oh my goodness. They want you to know that it's okay to not have it all together, that you can find happiness in not having it together. It's almost like, so that's what phobia is. I see. Okay, so this could also be a trauma wound. Maybe you were in a role in your family, or there was chaos and you had to have structure or be the structure. So that could be the case where this was built. But either way, it's like, it's almost like you're not prioritized on happiness because you're prioritized on being strong, being grounded, doing what you're supposed to do. It's like you're very responsible, disciplined, oriented, for what you need, for what you want. But you could be happy by letting things go. You don't feel like a control freak at all. If anything, you're just like a workhorse or a paddleboard. It's like you just keep paddling, you know? Yeah, it's like you strive to not have instability. So there could be those childhood wounds I was referencing where lack of stability was a thing in growing up for you. So it's like part pattern, habit, and part survival in some way, or just natural flow or natural orientation because you had to, so you just are, and you just got good at that. Okay, what's this? You might be having a harder time financially, or like maybe things are good but not great in the sense of they are the way you'd like them to be. And that's also probably why you can't feel that excitement, because the like needs that need to be met, you're prioritized or you're focused on. So it's like the stuff that's outside of that, it's almost like, yeah, well, I'll get to that, or I'll have time, or yeah, it's a nice to have or something. So there's also a bit of like, you need to play more or experience more things that you don't expect, things that you didn't create, that you're not in charge of. It's like things that, you know, like you need to receive things that are fun and playful for you. That's one thing. But the other thing is you have like this cycle change available to you. I'm hearing 11-11 for some of you. There's something about 11-11 where you can sort of shift energy for yourself. If you want to do intention setting, ritual burning, moon ceremony, whatever it is for you, whatever works, whatever you can throw your intention behind, if that's something you're into, I would say start building your intention toward that date. It's October right now, so it's like probably a month from now, but it's almost like you could have a new start. You, just as much as anybody, deserve to augment any part of your life if it's not working for you. I know for some of you, like I feel like some of you have spouses and kids. I can feel that, but even still, you can still reframe. You can, at any point in your life, you could decide to change the way that the lines are drawn, right, on this page that is your life, or this time period. But it is like, okay, and I'm making this decision, like there's like a split, like, okay, I'm gonna start deprioritizing this more, or talking to your partner, like, I want you to take more of this on. I've been taking a lot of this load on, something like that. Yeah, reciprocity. They want you to have more reciprocity, not just you being the one that compromises, provides, stabilizes, you know, builds, maintains. Reciprocity. They want you to also focus on your internal emotions. I went on a long tangent about that, so I won't beat you up because I already said it to you and they're saying the same thing. You need to get more familiar with your internal self. Okay. They also want you to be more honest or clear with yourself about the like planning, multitasking, the way you have your life organized or the way you're operating your life. And how you see that going forward. Like, what does that look like for you? Even if it requires you taking the brunt right now, what would the most successful, fulfilled life, most emotionally fulfilling, successful life look like for you? And what would having more joy in your life look like for you? What would reciprocity, again, balance, reciprocity. You need to do a little bit less, honestly. You do a lot and you need to do less. That's not everybody, you know, not everyone gets that kind of message, but for you, it is definitely that. Anything else? So there was a little bit of a need to look at like why it has to be you. Is it really that no one else can do it, or are you better at it? Or is it like you don't think basically you deserve to have someone do the things for you that you do for other people. You need someone to be that. You can't always be the pillar. Like, you can't bear all the weight and the work. You can't be the one who bears all the weight and the work. And they're saying again, they want you to have more fun, more childlike fun, more like lighten up. They want you to lighten up more. Okay. I feel like I was a little bit longer-winded with this group, so I'm not gonna say anything that I've already said in a different way. Let's see what your advice is for your closeout. Cultivate a sacred space. Cultivate a space where you feel safe to see and witness what's inside of yourself, what your needs are, what things you may be overlooking, right? Even if you're like, well, I'm fine, but okay, I'm fine, but I could be better if, you know, like it would be nice if this. You deserve that. But you have to make space for yourself to be able to feel your way through that. In whatever way that looks like for you. Maybe it's a silent drive. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's a massage. Maybe it's going for a walk by yourself. Whatever that looks like for you. A bath. I don't know. You know? Whatever makes you feel that space. To feel yourself, reflect, be with yourself. This came out in group 1 too. You have to break up. You have to be the one that breaks it up in your life. Like, it's got to be, unfortunately, it's got to be you, because you are in the leadership position in your surroundings. Oh, okay, but see, this change can happen, it can take place, and it can grow. Now is the time. Now is as good a time as any, but it's really saying now is a fertile time for this change, for this growth, for this shift. Okay, last, where is this deck? Let's see. What do you deserve? What do you deserve? Receiving, literally. We've been talking about this. What do you deserve to receive? And how can other people support you? You deserve to be supported just as much as you support everyone else. I think you are a wonderful person. And I feel so like balanced and calm in your energy. Like, even energetically, I don't even know you. I can't see you. But sitting in your energy, I feel comfortable and safe. So that is a thing that you provide to other people. But how can you be provided that? Because you deserve it. I really wish you the best, group 2. You guys are rocks. You guys are literally rocks. But you're going to learn how to be water sometimes. Okay. Hi, group 3. Let's do your head, heart, and guidance from spirit. I'm going to pull oracles to see the energy. Now that the fast forward is done, let's get into this reading. So this one is very much going to be love, baby. Do you hear my dog crying? Sorry about that. He has been walked. He is fine. He probably hears his friend outside. Okay, so this is, the energy surrounding this is very interesting, right? So I have someone here who's a natural nurturer, very intuitive, very creative, very grounded. What you've been learning is to not over nurture or offer too much energy, because people tend to want to eat up your energy, right? They want to take up your time or eat up your energy or stick to you like glue. And there's a little bit of defensiveness to connection, or I would say attachment more so. I would say attachment more so. And there's a little bit of aloofness with this energy. You have so much to give, and you're probably a very generous person. And because of that, you've had to have boundaries, for one. For two, so I said that you are intuitive, you have gifts. You could even be a reader, but it's like, when you are a healer or energy worker, or you're offering healing help, there can be a tendency, right, for people to, again, maybe lean on you. And there's a part of you that is very much like stoic, and we'll have to dig in later to see why, or maybe the cards will reveal it, where it's like you kind of operate where you want to not need anything, or you're sufficient enough to not need anything, where it's like you can go without, or you have such good self-control or boundaries or whatever it is. But it's almost like you're guarded in a way, like this She Who Battles came in reverse, where it's like you need to remember not to have to like carve such dark lines, because I saw like a blockade, like and it's like you're monitoring that blockade, and maybe you're doing that because it's new, like boundaries are new for you. You recognize these patterns and you're like, I have to make changes, because again, people want to take up your life force. Okay, so that's one element, where there's the spiritual and then gift and how people receive you. And then there's a love element that's separate but entwined in some way. So another thing is, sorry, back to the healing thing. It's like earthworms are so key to our survival, which is funny, the food and hunger, right? It's like I said, people want to eat you up. They want to drink you up. Your energy is almost like foundational in some ways, where it's like, earthworms make the soil, like, we couldn't have food without earthworms being in the soil, for one. It's almost like you are aware that you serve some function, but that is a challenging thing for you, because of this detachment, or the desire to have this detachment, or maybe because you've had gifts and people encroach on your space, you've created this natural barrier or boundary. And so you're challenged with that a little bit, like what is taking care of yourself and what is being helpful, what is an appropriate use of these gifts. People also see you as a gift, but I already said, like, you come through as a generous person. But again, you have so much to give that it can be easy. People want to consume you. People want to take you up. So you kind of are reserved in some way, and almost, it's not cold, because there is this warmth, and people feel safe. They feel grounded with you. They want, they want to eat you up. They couldn't want to eat you up if you weren't good enough to eat. So, not like that, y'all. But it's almost like you keep this barrier, or like, like she's very collected and very like, there's a little bit of distance there, but it's for purpose, right? Because you've got to maintain something. Yourself, not something, maintain like yourself and your groundedness. Like when you are creative and grounded, there's something like, artists call woodshedding, where it's like you lock yourself away so you can make your ideas, bring your creativity to fruition, or offer your services, whatever it is that you need to do, where it's like that, like barcade again could just be shuttering the doors so you have this space for yourself. Again, I'm being shown now this like cozy internal cabin, but in the first pile, that cabin was very much like cold and whatever. In this one, it's not. It's like cozy, flowers, everything I need and want is in here. I'm relaxing, I'm rejuvenating. It's like giving back to myself, right? Because of this offering that you give, there needs to be a balance, and there needs to be some sort of barrier for the access. So earlier when I was sort of giggling and saying, oh, there's like a barricade, it's not really a barricade, but others might feel like it is in some way, but it's almost like a necessity because people will drink you dry if not. Because you offer so much support. There's also a part of you that's conflicted about being accessed, right? Like you're connected to source, spirit, the universe, and you don't want people to use you as a tap to the universe. You want them to put their own tap in. That is another big thing where you don't really love dependencies. But you're still being called, with all that being said, to step into this role, to speak your truth, to be of service. I was called to pull more cards than usual for this pile as well. Like I pulled 2 cards in a lot of cases, so 2s might be relevant. 2, 2, 2. Yeah, there's some numbers here. 36, 37, 38. It's 36, 38. I don't know why I said 37. That could be somebody's ages, people's ages. The number 5, 8, infinity symbol, 5 again. 5's maybe very relevant. Double infinity, 8, 8. 33. There's so many, like, yeah, there's like repeating numbers here too. Double 9s, 299. Sorry, so you may be seeing a lot of angel numbers, or I don't know, or those numbers could be confirmation for you. Okay, so let's get into, oh, we didn't get into the love stuff, sorry. So that was the second part of this, where it's like, there's a part of you that's gone through so much change and so much healing and growth, and you recognize that, like, there was so much you had to go through and sacrifice and experience. So it'd almost be like a dishonor to your journey, to not honor this new place that you're in. Like, what was all that effort and work and transformation for if I don't honor this space, right? Because there's boundaries here. There's a thing about boundaries here. Okay. And then also, like, this being grounded and being creative, you might also appear to other people to like navigate this stuff really well. But like, look at this. It's like this person is going through it, right? It's like you just maybe do it in your own way and somehow maintain that like core light, that core hope. But it looks like you're lacking clarity about a romantic partner, because there's a repair here, and it's this adorable couple, and they happen to be different ethnicities that may or may not be relevant, and they're knitting a blanket together, and it's like making amends, having fun, the truth of a relationship, right? Like, but it's in the reverse, and then it came out with confusion, where it's like you may be confused about somebody who you have a soul partnership. You may be feminine energy. And life partner separation came out. So I hate to say too, for something, this might be twin flames. Again, those are just labels. Please don't fixate on it or take it out of context. It could just be a high level soulmate. The point is, there's somebody in your life who is like tied to you in some way, and they played a part in this self-love journey too, because this element of like, well, I did all this work and I worked hard, and this not wanting to repair and then connection reverse. It's like, but then it's almost like your intuition is involved in this somehow. But we'll dig deeper. But I have a feeling your thoughts and your heart are going to be about this connection. But we'll find out. Okay, is there anything else I'm picking up? It's also funny too, because it's like, you actually have like a lot going on mentally and emotionally, but like you, again, it's like self-isolated. I actually relate to this, but okay. Blues and purples are really standing out as well. So that's like crown, third eye. Why am I blanking on what this chakra is called, where your throat is? The throat chakra. But anyway, So you could, I think I already said that. I was like, you could be someone who orates or works with people. There's also a lot of vibrant energy too. Rainbow colors, right? Like, look at this. And something else, you are multifaceted, because I was just drawn to the different versions of the flower petals and how they're layered. And same here, right? She's veiled, but it's like, there's more than meets the eye here. Okay, let's see what's going on in your head. What are you mulling over in your head? What's on your mind? Oh, you're not sure if this person is karmic to you, or if you're tied to them, or if it's fated, if you have to do it. You're not clear. You're not sure if it'll make you happy. You kind of want to hold back from this. This could be someone you have communal, you know mutual people. You guys are aware of mutual people. There's not someone you probably like met on an online site. Feminine and Empress. I see. So remember when I was saying earlier, it's like you've put in so much effort to work yourself up to be the person that you are. That's that Empress energy too. It's like you're not willing to go backwards and struggle and go into unnecessary conflict. You want to remain in your Empress energy. That's what you're thinking about. But you're stuck. This person has you stuck. It's like you thought there could be something, but it almost leaves you wanting. Or you think this person will leave you in the cold, or maybe they did, and that's why you're not sure if it could, because these are in the cross position, you're not sure if it could evolve, which is why you want to protect yourself from this person. Thoughts? What other thoughts? So again, like, you're ready to be in a healthy partnership. You're ready to grow. You're ready to see new things, to go new places. It's like you're ready to be done with a lot of things. The world is completion. It's moving on. 2 of Cups. You want something that's reciprocal, that's fair, that's equal. So if that's in the cross position, you're not sure if this could be that. Oh my gosh. So there's 2 things I'm hearing. For some of you, you're not sure if this success is elsewhere, is if you leave this behind and change. And for others of you, you're not sure if this person changes, if you could have this, or you think you may be able to have this 10 of Pentacles. Like, you think it could go the long term if there was change between you. Can you... But you don't want to be in anxiety. So the fact that it's up in the air is stressful for you mentally. You don't want to go backwards. Again, you want to stay. Yep, crossing is 4 of Wands, right? You want something stable. This is too. I just said, well, the Lovers hasn't come out yet, but you want something stable. You want something long term, and because it's up in the air, you're not sure. Anything else in the thoughts, Serena? You're not sure if this person is serious or considering this even, or wants this, or could change, or it's like you don't know where their head's at. You don't know what, it's almost like you think it's over, but then there's again this stuckness, but it came out as life partner and then separation, which leads me to believe it's not done. There's either commitment or lesson learning here, but you're not sure. Your intuition, you don't know to trust your intuitions or your feelings, which is funny because this is a head, heart, spirit. So your head is conflicted, but there's some spiritual aspect. Oh man, bottom of the deck is Ace of Cups too. There are mutual feelings, or there was feelings here, or you have feelings for this person. So the gray area sets your mind off. And these are all a lot of higher arcana coming out. So you're not thinking about this like in an everyday way. It's like you definitely are seeing there's these patterns or things to be learned. Okay, let's do heart. Your head is saying you should look elsewhere because of the things that are unknown and unsure, especially the way this person feels, or if it could be successful in the long term. And you want to stay in your Empress energy. And then heart. Can I see their heart? What's the heart? Your heart wants to... you want to protect your heart. Your heart is feeling a little bit defensive. But this is the funniest thing though, right? But you're a little bit open to it. Page of Pentacles. It's like there's a little sliver of hope or potential, I would say. Like if they showed up in the right way, stable, healthy, might offer a little bit of your time and attention. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, I guess you'd offer more of your time and attention if it was stable. Your heart wants something stable. Your heart wants good luck, for things to be easy, for things to be, and look at this too. Look at this, the pair of birds, right? That's in harmony, right timing, luck on your side. You want things to be good and you want to be committed. You're done learning lessons, Hierophant. Your heart is ready for something real, for something serious. And that's why you're defending, because you want, you know, the real deal. And you're not sure if this is over in terms of, is it a lesson still to be learned? Is it this life partner? Is it a life partner, or is it the completion of a lesson? Your heart is, I think it's afraid, basically. You don't want to be hurt again. You want more. But it is looking like fear is sort of blocking potential. You got to balance out your head and your heart. Well, maybe you should balance out spirit and your heart, because your head was also like not so sure. Anything else in the heart? Again, that clarity. It's like maybe you've been hurt by this person specifically, or your past, or whatever it is, or because you're done with lessons. It's like your heart wants clarity. It wants clarity and stability, and that's where your heart's at. And how does their heart feel about this person? You want to be open to them. Your heart wants to be open to them. Your heart thinks it could be successful or go the long term, or at least the way you feel about them. Your feelings could go the long term. Anything else in the heart? But you're worried about stability and if they'll be faithful, or if you'll be dealing with things that you've dealt with. Yeah, if your heart will be broken. So your head and your heart are both actually trying to protect you. It's, you're not so much thinking about like, oh, I want this. You're actually being a little bit conservative in your thoughts and with your feelings, because of this sort of feeling of wanting to be done with lessons and done with things that are challenging, which is fair. I get that. And there's a sense of like you had gone with passion in the past and it didn't serve you. So the fact that you feel passionately about this person feels like a red flag, but it's natural to feel passion. But because you maybe have gone with passion in the past and has yielded heartbreak, there's some hesitation there in your heart. And you're not sure if it'll be fair and reciprocal. You're done with things that aren't reciprocal. And you're done with things that are not clear. Okay. Is there anything else in this heart? This feeling of like what you don't know too really like ties you up. It makes you not want to work on it because there's not this clarity and transparency. You're not willing to put your heart on the line, basically. Okay. I feel like the heart could keep talking, but I'm going to end it right there and see what Spirit's advice is in terms of the situation. I'm also curious what your spiritual gifts have to do with this. Why was it a two-parter? All right, spirit, guides, ancestors, loved ones. Oh, well, luck is on your side and things are changing for you. Spirit wants you to know you're not going to go backwards. The things that you experienced in the past, you will not be experiencing again. The Lovers. You do have a soulmate coming in. But also, it could be this person and they could be your twin flame. Because now all the cards that I associate in the Hierophant. So, okay. And, well, whatever is happening, you do have a lover coming in and you do have commitment coming for you. The question is it going to be this person or is it someone else? Or spirit, sorry. What else did you want to talk about before I ask you that question? Yeah. Spirit's saying whatever's coming in for you, this new love situation, this commitment, is going to be fair, balanced. These are higher arcana too. Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, the Hierophant, Justice. You have gotten over that learning period. Don't worry. Don't worry. You've good karma coming for you. They want you to let your guard down. But to who in general? They want you to think about the future and hope for something to come. Not be so reserved. 6 of Cups. Okay, so it may be this person. Can you clarify? Nine again. Hold on. I need to, can you double down on the 6? Can I get a second clarifier? 5, no, 4, 5, 6. Okay, okay. So part of it is like you took a break. You want things to be given to you. You have this sweetness coming. So it doesn't have to be the past. It is the past when it is reversed though, so. But what's confusing is the 3 of Wands. Or you could be moving forward with someone from the past too. But I'm going to drill in for clarifiers because this isn't 100% clear. But whatever's coming, it's 9 of Cups. It's you getting what you want. You're sitting 2 of Cups. New relationship. The Lovers, 2 of Cups. Whatever this is, everything's coming in the upright and it's coming in fair and just for you. But it's like you're near completion. 9-9. Like you have done what you needed to do. You are not going backwards in cycles. I can confirm that for you. You're not going to go backwards in cycles. What is this one? Oh, I see. So the part of you that is like afraid that things are going to go back to the way they were, that's just fear. Try not to feed that or listen to that and try not to attach to that. Okay, so this person is the same. It was the King of Cups earlier. So is it this person? But why is it the 2 of Swords? So that person from earlier, the King of Cups, and it doesn't have to be a water sign, can be, doesn't have to be. They're not being fully honest with themselves. They're not being fully, they haven't fully learned a lesson yet. They're still dealing with some burdens. They could be withholding speech because the 2 of Swords is blocking her throat, or they could just be protecting themselves. But you're stepping into healing. You're stepping into alignment. So I don't know if it's going to be this person or if the Lovers and the 2 of Cups is 2 separate people coming in for you. Well, who's this coming in then? Spirit, what? They're kind of being cheeky. They're not answering me, which I can't stand. But there's something, whatever this is going to be destabilized by you, and it's going to require you to shift your perspective, but it's going to be a little bit challenging for you because you're going to have to let go of something. What's the something that they have to let go of? Oh, the thought pattern. Sorry. So this thinking that things are going to repeat, you're going to have to let go of. I mean, the Lovers and the Two of Cups came in the upright, so whoever, whatever this is that's coming forward with Justice, the Hierophant, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Pentacles, the Star, it's gonna come in a good way, but I just can't tell you who it is. Whatever it is, you're manifesting this healthy, happy love, and it is coming. The Emperor to your Empress. Well, whoever it is coming correct. So you'll just have to let me know who it is when it comes. If it's this person who's going to evolve, I'm not 100% sure. Or if it's going to be a new person. It's a soulmate, though. I just saw the Queen of Cups, though. For some of you, it could be that person. But I'd have to go in deeper. And that kind of is not this reading. This isn't like a love reading. This was supposed to be a thoughts, heart, and spirit advice. So I kind of already went a little off book, but I wanted to double back too, before I pull your advice cards, to ask about the spiritual element and the hesitation you're having. Can you? Thank you. Okay, so it's kind of giving like, you can slow down if you'd like. If you're feeling a little bit resistant with your gifts, you can take a break. Oh, wait, why is that? Yeah, it's like you can decide what the boundaries are, how much you hold back, when you take breaks. You don't have to move forward if you don't want to, if you're not feeling ready, or if it feels a little bit off, like pace yourself. You're the only one who knows what feels appropriate for you in terms of your gifts. Can I get a little more? Or do you have anything else in general that was part of this spirit advice? It's like you can't fully see it, but this new is coming. It's coming for you. So, I mean, just wait. Just wait for it. Get on your P's and Q's. Balance your emotions out. They keep referencing, like, your emotions are going to get shaken up. Oh, because you're going to have options. So, you get to decide what happens. Well, you know. But yeah, there's definitely an offer coming, and it's stable. There could be 2 offers. These could be 2, or it could be one that begets the next. Change, either way. Oh, yeah, it looks like actually you're going to have 2 options. Well, that's exciting. You'll have to let me know what happens. One of them could be a person, one of them could be a job, or they could be 2 people. But either way, you're getting offered 2 of something. You're going to be happy either way, and you're closing out a cycle. Try not to overthink it when all of this happens. This last one, I kind of went a little off book. Let's take your advice cards for the last thing. Sorry. Psychic gifts, a call to action. So even though they told you to slow down and take a break if you want, they're like, you're still being called up to help with your gifts, to use your gifts, use your voice. So, this is very funny. Oh, dragons. Okay, so some of you have dragon guides, but also some of you can do astral travel, astral work, or start paying attention to your dreams, because if you remember them, a lot of times that's what you were doing in the astral plane. And open your heart. Open your heart. You are in a different phase. You're in a different cycle. So by being in a different phase and in a different cycle, you have to call in something different than the past, because you're not the same. Your energy is not the same. Okay. Oh, handle all of this with gentleness. Pace yourself and your gifts and your level of comfort at your own speed. Okay. You might have, again, this connection to consider. Allow people to see the deeper parts of you. I know I said earlier, it's like you come off very reserved, but you can let people in to see those parts of you and all of the awesomeness that you have to offer. You guys are a wonderfully sweet group. Your energy feels very similar, and I like it a lot, and I wish you all of the best. If you stayed and watched all 3 just because, like, thanks. Nice. Thanks for being here. Follow me on TikTok at Soul Surfing, and I'll see you guys later.